What's up, everyone? Coach Tony here. In this training, we're going to break down like almost your final checklist, things to look through in your application before you submit. So if you're a senior, this is perfect to kind of go through and make sure you dot all the I's, cross all the T's before you guys click submit. And for those who are not seniors, this is a little preview of what you should be expecting in the next year, 2, 3 years. If it's a first time meeting, my name is Coach Tony, actually a former UC Berkeley admissions reader myself. I was behind the scenes. I helped recommend yes or no to over like 20,000 students. Then I became a director over at UCLA, was helping them with outreach. I've opened my own high school after that as well. Last 16 years, our team and I, we help families with the admissions process, help you guys kind of navigate this journey there. So in today's session, our goal is to kind of help you guys, again, for those of you ready to finish strong in this journey. Okay, let's go ahead and dive straight in. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. We're gonna walk through two different apps today. The first app we're gonna go through is going to be the UC application itself, and then we're gonna jump over the common application for those of you applying to like private schools, out-of-state schools, and then we'll kind of give a quick little, we'll put together a little checklist together for the different essay questions as well. Okay, so first off, the UC application is the same as every year. Apply.universityofcalifornia.edu. So when you guys create an account, you have these sections as well too, right? About campus, academic history, test scores, activities, scholarships, and personal insight. So how you know these are done? They should have a checkbox next to them as well too. So ideally, once you this app's not incomplete, but if once it is complete, you'll see that you have a check on all the ones that I am done. You can click on each one, and there's a review page. Under UCF, there's a review page on each section. You can kind of see the information for all the different things that you put in. If it's not true, you can go and click edit, and you can edit directly what the answer is. You can save as well. You can see that the UCs, everything is checked. We do recommend try to go through everything as thorough as you can, entering all the information over here. Okay. A few areas to kind of be cautious about or be aware of. First one, campus and majors, right? So you guys are going to your campuses, pick the schools that you guys are going to go to or applying to is the key. And the majors, keep in mind that this pick your major as your main major. There's an alternate major in case they ran out of space in the first one, and they'll consider you again realistically that they won't make it. A lot of schools won't make it to the alternate majors. They will fill up before, but again, it's good to kind of have the two options over here. So make sure this is completed is the key. For those of you who are applying to UC San Diego, right? They have their own college ranking system that you guys can do. Again, make sure you will filter it by your top four. They only allow you 4 spots now. So again, look them up. Each college of theirs has a different theme to them. You can kind of find out which one makes the most sense to you. This doesn't affect majors or anything at all at this school. So pick the environment that you feel is best for you guys here. Okay, so that's gonna be the first section. Next section to look at is the academics, making sure everything here is done correctly. Keep in mind, all right, keep in mind that these classes and grades that you're putting in, you're self-reporting them, right? All this I'm putting in here is self-reported. You're not going to be sending in your transcripts at this time. Meaning the readers are gonna go is that they're gonna assume if I got a C here, I'm gonna say, oh, you got a C here. If you got an A here, oh, you got an A here. I'm not gonna, the readers don't question the grades. We assume this is true. So everything you write on here, they assume is what you're gonna do. If you put classes in 12th grade and you say, hey, this class is in progress, cool, you're taking it. If you say PL, you're planning to take that, cool, you're planning to take that in the future as well too. So as a reader, we don't question anything that you do. Everything you share on the app, we assume is true. Okay, so keep that in mind as well too. One little note here. If you say you're planning to take this and you don't take it, you're officially lying to the UC system. What happens is that, let's say, because again, you submit, little spoilers so fast, you submit, let's say you get accepted, you go through all the paperwork, everything, you send your official transcripts at the end of the school year. You find out in April, you submit your deposit in May, mid-June, July, you will send in your transcripts. If it doesn't match exactly to what you proposed on this schedule to the T, they have the right to rescind your acceptance. Meaning, even if you got a yes, you lied to them because they accepted you based on the premise that you would have done what you promised them you would. So if you kind of, what I tell students, if you drop a class, you gotta let the school know ASAP. Because if they don't know ASAP, then they're gonna assume you did it, and then if you didn't do it, and they find later on, that's a bad, that's a bad thing there. Okay, so that's the thing to double check here. Go back through here, check the classes are correct, the grades are correct. All here, it needs to match your transcript exactly. So download your transcripts, copy and paste it, go through it 2, 3 times, even go through your counselor. We recommend going to your counselor, have them walk it through with you guys. That's gonna be the key over here. Okay, so that's gonna be the academics. One thing we always have students double check is the additional commons. Share something here. Usually, again, it's unless your grades are phenomenal, I'm sure you can probably find something to talk about in here. It just adds context. Keep in mind what you're doing in this application is giving the readers context about your life. Again, they are a stranger. The person reading your app, they're a complete stranger to you. They have no clue who you are. So you need to give them enough information about who you are is going to be the key. So I would always add context. If there's any weird grades, talk about that. If your school is a special school, talk about that. If anything happened, talk about that. So this is the area for you to share additional context over here. Okay. So that's pretty much it for the main academics. When it comes to test scores, same thing. As of right now, everything here is self-reported. So again, you're sharing this, the reader is going to assume everything is correct. If you say you got a 3, you got a 3. If you're planning to take the exam, you're planning to take the exam as well too. I'm not going to question it. Again, same logic. They're not going to ask you to submit the scores until after you get accepted. So if you lied on here, they have the right to tell you no later on, which is again, by then you have no other options, right? So keep that in mind too. So APs, IBs, and these exams you can share over here. Okay. Next section, activities, right? When it comes to the activities section itself, the most important thing to check when it comes to review page, right, is to check the description section. This is the part a lot of students don't double check as well too. The description needs to follow a certain format. Not needs to, it should. We recommend that it should as well too. So when it comes to this section as well too, I spelled out here. You want to do short phrases. Do not use full sentence. Don't write the word I here. I did this. No, just go straight to did this, right? Verb, context, metrics. Use a punctuation, period, comma, semicolon. I like period to keep it simple as well too. And you do the next one exactly the same, right? I get nitpicky here because that's kind of, again, if you have attention to detail, that's what you're gonna show the readers too. If it's all messy, I will assume you're a messy student. It's kind of thing as well, right? So again, most important thing is the description section. The order doesn't matter. So don't worry about, oh, let me put my favorite at top, my whatever. Put it from whatever order you want. The reader is gonna reshift it on their end once they see it. So don't worry about it here. Just put all the information you have. And again, you want to fill up as much as you can too. Another big mistake a lot of students do, they don't share everything they've done. They only pick their best activities. I'm like, no, no, no. You have 20 slots. You want to share everything you've done. Things to give the readers context about who you are is the thing. So basically, I ask students, how do you spend your time? It's either going to be sleeping, school, or activities. So if it's not under school, it's not under sleeping, right? Put it somewhere under activity section right here. So as the reader, I understand that. For example, here's an easy example. For speaking for me, I'm the oldest of my family, so I grew up with like 3 siblings. So for me, one of the things my parents asked me to do is, or told me to do, is to help my siblings out when I grew up, help them with their homework, help them with stuff. That stuff I did. That again, where did that go? It goes under activities, family responsibilities, helping my siblings, taking care of the house. All these things is what we do as well. That's things you share in here so the reader knows what it is. If it's not that important to the reader, let them ignore it. For the UC, they're very friendly to you. So if it's not going to help you, they just ignore it. They don't hurt you with the thing. Okay. So that's the big thing when it comes to activities. Okay. That's that. Scholarship doesn't really apply too much for admissions. It's more for you in case you want anything. Big things, personal insight, go through here. When you check this, make sure nothing is cut off at the end. That's the biggest thing here. Most students write it in Google Docs. We recommend that. And once you're done, you copy and paste it into this blurb. However, sometimes the last word or so gets cut off, and you don't want to click submit when the one word is cut off the end as well too. You want to go in and make sure everything is done correctly in over. In a bit, we'll talk about what to look for in the essay, so we'll save that for a little bit too. But here, at least for now, making sure all the ones that you submit, all the words are kind of included in here. And the same thing, additional comments, share anything else. So again, this is the oh, by the way, I also am involved in this. I'm also doing that. Making sure the readers know that is the key. Okay. When you guys click review and submit, when you start submission, next page is gonna tell you is everything factual. You're gonna say yes as well too. When you pay it and you click submit, how you know you submitted correctly, there's confetti, right? If you don't see the confetti page yet, you probably need to click another submit button because there's gonna be a page where you click submit. It says congratulations with some again, confetti. We tell students look for the confetti is kind of what you're looking for when you submit it correctly is the key. Okay, it's for all apps. Okay, that is pretty much the summary of the UC. Those are my quick little things that I go through to make sure when we do send off calls with our students, we go through and make sure they do those things specifically on their college essay. Everything else, again, should be like, again, things you've done, you sharing that. Okay, so that is the UC application. What about those who are applying to the Common App schools, right? These are the non-UCs, the private schools, the out-of-state non-California schools. They all use the Common Application. So let's kind of break this down, right? The Common Application, the first section, same thing, you go through each section here, make sure there is a green complete checkbox, right? This means you did everything that you need to do. But again, to be safe, we tell students, let's go through everything, make sure everything is complete, right? Everything is complete, nothing's missing from the section over here, okay? Like this is missing, let's figure out what's missing. Let's go through and fill it out as much as we can to make it that green checkbox, okay? When it comes to here, education, right? Making sure that your high school information is correct, the graduation years are correct. If you attend any other high schools, you're going to add that over here as well too. If you went to a different high school, you need to be prepared to share why you're not going there. For a lot of students, you're just like double dipping, right? During summer, like a UC Scout to supplement a class. You didn't leave the school, you just stopped going there. So you can share something like this. I took supplementary classes from here. Okay. If you did community college, like do enrollment, you can share it here. Grades, right? Share context about your school. I'm class rank 1 as well too. Right? And see, once you're done, it greens it out once you are complete with that section. Okay, same thing. What classes did you take? I took 4 classes. I leave this 2 classes blank, right? So that's why, let's say I do the O2, right? Then you'll see that, oh, still blank. There you go. Subjects, right? Full year as well too. Boom, all complete now. Again, so you go through, again, same thing for your most courses. Grab your transcript and copy. For the Common App, they will ask you mainly for senior year grades. Some schools, by the way, down here, will ask you for the rest of the grades that you have. Let's see, some schools do, some schools don't. These schools right here only care about senior year grades. These, they care about all the grades. So you kind of continue and you enter in the rest of your classes over here. Okay, it's for the schools that do request it as well. So going back, feeling education here, this honors section is only for academic honors. It's not for like anything honors, right? If you got I don't know, best trombone or whatever, right? No. This is academic honors. You share that over here. Same thing, you can add up to 5. If you're the community-based organization, you share that here. Future plans, you share kind of saying what your goals are. We tend to recommend our students go to like master's, PhD level. I'm pretty sure a lot of our students today are going to end up going there anyways. Okay, so that's that. Testing, same thing here, right? Again, copy of the exams that you got to do. So this student, let's say one exam. right? But it's gonna make incomplete. I have a few. Okay, fill in all you're doing as well too. Again, keep in mind that a lot of these schools use a super score, so you can share it. Same thing. There's no school that's out to hurt you, right? Every school is gonna try to put you in the best of light. So your goal is to share so the readers know kind of what you've done, so they can kind of help you out the best they can in this process is the key. Okay, so going through, make sure everything again, this is open. So I'm probably missing something here, and you can share as well. Okay, is the key. This one I'm planning to take it. I took 3 exams. Why? So there's multiple things, right? So as that. And then so next thing, activities, right? Activities, there's 10. This one order does matter as well. So for common app, that's the big shift so far. The UCs do not care about the order. The common app does. So the common app, you do want to resort these up from number one is your most important to you. What do you feel? And again, as a reader, that helps me understand stuff. There's nothing that there's no universal one that's like for everyone's. It's to you. What do you feel is your most important activity to you? Share number one. Same thing, the most important thing, make sure these, and if you did it, like some of our students use a tracker to help this stuff, make sure when you copy and paste it in, everything is there. Say if there was 4 blas, right? But only 3 got copied over, make sure you double check, make sure, okay, everything got copied correct. That's usually the most common thing that we see happen during like our student send-off calls is that they kind of missed the final word or something that doesn't copy over correctly. Make sure you go double check that as well. Same thing, same structure, right? Capital, first one, verb, context, metrics, period, and keep going. Same context, same structure over here as the UC application. Okay. Same thing. Add what hours do you add? Add. Again, same thing here. Add average. Your goal is to max out all 10 slots as best you can. For those who have more, there's a section at the bottom you can add additional comments. For those who are struggling to fill up 10, think of like anything small you've done. Again, everything you've done in your life, it can in high school can fit under sleeping, right? Sleeping or like human stuff, eating, some of that, or schoolwork related stuff, school studying, right? Or activities, right? So things that you do outside, if you draw, boom, that's an activity that you'd spend your time doing. Add that in so the readers understand the context. Okay, that's that. This is the new section this upcoming year, so we recommend this again. Whatever applies to you, select those is the key. It's basically giving the reader more context. We assume it's like how when we read the usual essays and these things come up, we make those notes. That's kind of how like the old school was. So this is probably in lieu of that is the key, right? Writing, same thing. Personal essay. This is the pro statement. The most common thing people copy and like, oh, the last word didn't get copied in. Make sure you go in and write that thing in or share that in here. Okay. Again, for those of you who haven't started yet, do not write in here as your draft. If your screen refreshes, you might lose your progress. We do highly recommend using something like a Google Doc to write it. Another pro tip, by the way, to why to use Google Doc. Google Doc takes a screenshot of your progress every minute. Meaning, so a lot of people are now like, oh no, what if people accuse me of AI? What if people accuse me of whatever? There's a tracker. So if you did AI, your draft would just change in like a second to like a lot of words. Versus if you actually wrote it, it'll show that you actually wrote it during that time. That's kind of why we like Google Docs as well too. But that's gonna be the thing here. So again, write in here and you're good is the first piece, okay? And then again, this is the additional information I mentioned earlier. If there's any other activities that you have, you can go in here and share it here, whichever thing makes sense to you. Like I mentioned, there's some schools that will require courses. So go in and add the courses of that grade as well too. Okay, so that is the common applicant. You're done. They should have green checks, right? Green checks on all of these, boom, 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 all the way down, right? That's the common app. That's the main app. Think of this as just the application. Each school, however, has additional things they may ask you. So once you finish this, you're gonna go on to the My Colleges. And whatever schools you're applying to, there's these kind of there's like a insert for the schools. Let's say I want to go to Boston, right? Or applying to Boston. There's their own set of questions that I need to submit as well too. So again, same thing, go through each section one by one, scroll. The one thing, by the way, we don't recommend doing this out of order. You want to go through question by question this way because what usually happens in the supplements, they pop up new questions. So as you answer certain things like, hey, I want to do early decision, there might be more questions that pop up. If I do regular, if you know, by the way, see how this tab, this line right here is this long? Look what happened to earlier. Look at your eyes. See how it's shorter? That means there's more questions now. There's more questions they ask you. So if I change to regular, they reduce the question on here. So again, keep in mind, every question does trigger more different questions on here. So go through it in order so you know it's anything. Go through each page, go through each section one by one. And once you are done, right, you can submit on here. But again, you have to finish the whole thing first is the key. All right, so that's gonna be the big thing. That's pretty much the common application, right? So if you guys are doing common app, that's how the common app looks like, feels like. Again, same thing. When it comes to the essays, again, we don't recommend writing in here. We want to recommend writing it in like a Google Doc, then copying in here. And if you do that, gotta make sure the last word is copied correctly, the first word is copied correctly, so you're in here as well too. Okay, so that is the UC and the common application. Last piece for us is the colleges, right? So the essays for them. So the UCs, they call it the UC personal insight questions, right? And then the common app, they call it the personal statement. So here's a few quick checklists here. I'll go from high level down to more tactical for you guys too. So when it comes to the UC, make sure everything, there's the word count, word limit, right? 350 words. You want to stay above 335 or higher. Closer to 350, the better, right? So you want to get to as close as you can to the 350 mark. You don't want to do anything less than that just because then they're going to feel like, oh, you had more room to talk about. Why didn't you talk about more? And then ideally, you should be struggling to try to get it under, which is again, you have a lot to talk about, which is great. But again, you don't want to have it too little. Again, Coach Tony, what if I have 333? That's fine too. Don't stress out. But again, of course, the closer to 350, the better is the key here. Okay, so that's the first one. Number two, right? At a high level, all four PIQs should be for different topics. This is probably one of the big things we catch right away for students is that are you talking about different things? Some students talk about the same things in 2 or 3 prompts. That's the red flag. The reason why is that as a reader, I'm like, oh, I already know this about you. So what else are you trying to tell me? I can't tell, right? So it's really hard to share different aspects of who you are. So again, I always say all 4 topics should tell different parts of who you are is the key. The other thing to keep in mind, do not theme or tie the prompts together. We had students every year who try to like put like a narrative across all 4 things. No. You don't need to tie. It's a waste of words to tie things together. It should be 4 separate topics, 4 separate things in this section over here. Right? That's a big key. And last one is again, avoid number 8 unless you have something very compelling to share. A lot of people use number 8. Number 8 is why you special. And again, and it's usually like, oh, I work really hard. I never give up. I'm like, oh, does that mean other students? does the other students not good? Are they not give up as well too? So number 8 is really hard to do. We tell students try to avoid number 8 if you can is the key, right? Same thing with number 5. A related one is avoid number 5 unless you have a significant or challenging event, right? As well too, right? A significant challenge, right? Have a significant challenge as well too, right? Because some people, again, oh, my most significant challenge is me getting a B. The world was over. I'm like, no. If you getting a B was your life's most significant challenge, holy moly, right? I'll share this story. One of our students, I won't say their names, but we have a student who they have this like a worm in their head that lives there. As so they're not like on purpose, but it's there. So it's so bad that they can't go out to dances. They can't go out to games because that could trigger an epilepsy for them as well too. So they have to avoid all these types of events. How significant is that? It literally changed how they view their high school experience. So for them, that was a very perfect, significant, that's a very big challenge for, especially for a teenager, right? A lot of things they had to navigate through as well. That's a significant challenge. If you told me, oh, Coach Tony, I got a B in one class, I learned to work hard, I got an A again, that's not really a significant challenge. I would avoid number five. I would avoid that prompt altogether as well too. Okay, so that's gonna be the UCPIQs. Okay, other one, personal common app personal statement. Oops, common personal statement. The big thing here, this one has very similarly has 650 word limit. Same thing. We want to stay above stay above 630 or higher if you can. Again, same thing. Aim for 650 is the key. You want to max out as much words as you can. You don't want to stay too much lower. Again, Coach Tony will have 625. Again, it's fine, but you don't want to do too low because the reason why, like, all the reasons, like, oh, you could have shared more, but you didn't. I wonder why you didn't share more is the key. Okay, so again, you want to stick to close to the limit as much as you can. When it comes to your personal statement, again, the 650 words, right? We always tell our students avoid talking about your major, and you're like, wait, why? Right? Because one of your college supplements is probably asking you about your major. That's why. One of your supplemental questions is going to ask you, why do you want to study this major? So if you talk about it in your personal statement and you talk about it also in that question, you're double dipping again. It goes back to the same logic. You're saying the same thing. You want every single prompt to share something new about you is the key. That's why we tell students avoid that unless you're applying to one school and that one school you know for a fact doesn't ask you about your major, then maybe that's fine. Go ahead and talk about that. But usually a lot of schools will ask you your major as one of the supplemental questions. As a result of that, we want to avoid it altogether. Okay, so that's that. And the same thing here, we always tell students try to avoid number 7. All right, prompt number 7. This is the make up your own prompt, right? The reason why we say what it's too hard and too easy to get right. 99% of the time, you can probably use another prompt and it still works perfectly fine. I think students use 7 as an easy way to get out. As a reader, the first thing I'm trained to look for is, did you answer the question? How do you answer make up your own essay, right? So it's a very hard question to answer versus if you pick the prompt of like, what's the most significant challenge? Oh, got it. I can understand what you did. Or talk about something that means a lot to you. Oh, yes, I can see that as well too, right? So that's a very easy one to look for. So I would, again, it's not unless it truly cannot be answered by any of the other prompts, and I question the prompt. I'm like, if your prompt can't, because the 6 personal statement ones are very broad. I'm like, oh, I haven't met a student yet, I've done it 16 years now, that their prompt has fit one of the other 6 without even changing anything. Like you can keep what you have and you can plug it into one of the other 6. If it doesn't do that, I'm curious. Show me because usually either the prompt is really off or something is the key, right? So that's kind of high level things. Okay. Now, in each prompt, right, the content of the prompts themselves, there's a few things we look for. This is the most important things to keep in mind. So when students, again, if you are a senior right now and you're editing, this is something you want to make sure you do, okay? The biggest mistake I see that students do, they talk too much about the story. They talk about what they did or what happened. As a reader, whatever story you're going to tell me, a lot of other kids are going to tell me a very similar story. So you don't want to focus solely on the story of you want to do. Instead, right, we call it the 30 focus. Aim for a 30-70 ratio. Again, you can do a 40-60 if you want to as well too. But again, the idea is 30-70 ratio. What that means 30% of your prompts tells me the story or tells me the context of what's going on. So if you're talking about soccer, cool, I understand the soccer story. If you talk to me about a club you started, cool, I understood you started a club. If you talk to me about you starting a business, cool, I understand you starting a business. That is just enough so I know what's going on. You don't want to focus on this because everyone focuses on this. What you want to focus on and what readers are trained to look for is focus on you, the student, as right too, right? Specifically, I want to know why did you do what you did. I want to know how did it make you who you are. I want to learn, oops, who have you become as a result? So, oops, who have you become as a result? These are the three things that as a reader, I'll be trained to look for in your application, the UCs and the personal statement, because this tells me you, right? For those of you who play soccer in high school, are you going to keep playing soccer in college? And if you don't, how is that soccer story is going to help me understand you? Probably not, right? If you did Key Club in high school, right? How much does Key Club tell me about what you'll do? You might not join our Key Club. We don't have Key Club. They have Circle K. That's the college level of it as well too. Are you going to keep joining it? Who knows, right? Because statistically, most students will drop their stuff. But if I told you who I was, if I told you a student is very compassionate, they're a natural leader, they're going to go and try to solve problems on campus, that's who I know. Oh, they're gonna do those things because that's who they are, is the key versus the what they did. Because what you do can change, who you are doesn't. So this is probably the biggest thing that I would say students need to focus on because this is the biggest mistake. This most of our edits, by the way, for our coaching students, it's this. We spend most of our edits fixing this one problem, which is majority of the edits. Because the rest of it's pretty fast, right? The other ones really quick, so you guys know, right? These are personal insights or personal statements. Personal is the student, right? So I tell students you want to use the words I, me, or my as many times as you can in your entire prompt. You do not need to talk in second or third person ever as well too. Focus only on you. You're telling them a story. You're telling them who you are. Focus on I, me, my every single time. It's hard because in high school they never let you write I, me, my, and anything. So that's why it's really hard for students to do. But that's the writing style of these college prompts. They're not essays. They're college prompts. They're responses as well. That's the same because I go through each sentence. If there's a sentence without an I, me, my, you highlight it. You like, do you even need this? If not, let's take it out. Okay, you'll need as well too. Last easy thing, right? These are not essays, right? What does that mean? You don't need a hook. People keep adding hooks and trying to make it sound pretty. You don't need that. You don't need a conclusion, right? You don't need to conclusion. Repeating what you said, right? Once you say it once, you're done. You don't need to repeat the thing. You're wasting words now. Everything needs to be said only once, and you are good to go over here. Okay, so this is probably the biggest things that I look for in the prompts. And if any student submitting, I'm looking for, did you write an essay? Nope. Good. Did you write I, me, mine, everything? Good. Did you focus? And then how it is, I highlight, right? Sentences that you did what? Right? I can visualize the sentence, right? Coach Tony jumped up and down. You can visualize me doing that, right? The 70% is learning about you, right? Like these are example is basically understanding I am a leader, right? I am a leader as well too. Things that understand who this. I can't see it, but I understand who you are. That's the key of the insights as well too. You highlight all that. Things are not highlighted, throw them out. And then you want to compare the highlights to make sure it's majority about why you did what you did, less about what you did. This is the tricks for all the essays over here. Awesome. That's pretty much it for this little training, guys. If you guys see yours, I will go through all that. If you guys do that, you guys should have a successful application, assuming you did everything else correctly, of course. As well, too, like your academics are good, your activities are good, your essay content is good, then you should be good to go. This is a quick little final checklist to make sure you guys are good to go. Okay. We had a question that popped in the chat. Looks like, where do we put Coursera courses? Coursera is non-academic class. So the academic section here, this is only academic on your transcripts in the Common App, right? Under the Common App education, these are official classes on your transcript. Coursera is just a class you took outside to learn something, right? So that's an activity. So I'll throw that under activities on the Common App. Over here, you put it under activities as well too, but you can also put it under UC's call it a other coursework, and you can put Coursera name of class as well too is the key. Okay, awesome, perfect. That is pretty much everything for this training as well too. That's hope you guys enjoy, learn a thing or two. That's pretty much it for me. I'll see you guys on next class.